question from our friend Preston. He says, why does bread make me fat, right? And so we've probably all heard something along this line before: don't eat too much bread, it's going to make you fat. Don't eat too much, pasta or whatever it is, yada yada. And so the reason behind that is that bread is carbs, right? And in and of itself, that's not a bad problem. That's not a problem at all. I eat bread all the time. A lot of people can eat bread and lose fat, and the problem is you don't realize how many other carbs you're getting in your day, because things like fruits, vegetables, all starches, like bread is a starch, potatoes, rice, pasta, these things are all carbohydrates, right? And what are carbohydrates? They're sugars. So if you think of like the typical breakfast, probably like what? Cereal and milk, right? So you pour your cereal in your bowl, right? There's your sugar. And then what else do you pour in there? You pour milk in there. Guess what that is? Sugar. Especially if you're doing like a low-fat milk. I actually suggest the higher fat ones that are a little bit more filling, so maybe you don't have to eat quite as much. And you're not just drinking pretty much straight sugar water. So then you go on to lunch, right? You got like a sandwich with a couple pieces of bread, and you probably got some other carbs in that sandwich. And then you have maybe dessert with that, and then all of a sudden you get hungry, and so you go to the vending machine or you go wherever and you get a bag of chips, and now you're getting more carbs. And then you go have dinner and you go home and you have spaghetti, and so now you're getting all these, and then now all of a sudden potato salad is a side, and you've got Oreos for dessert, or whatever the deal is, some sort of sweet sugary treat, right? So now all of a sudden your diet is like 80% carbs, which is really high up there. If you're trying to maintain the amount of body fat that you have, you don't want to be eating anything more than 60%. And honestly, that's kind of high. Of your total calories coming from carbohydrates. And if you're trying to lose fat, you definitely want to be down closer to 40, right? Maybe even less than 40% of your daily calories coming from carbs. So what does that mean, right? That's, numbers are tricky. So if you're eating 2,000 calories a day and you're trying to lose weight, then a little less than half of that, you want to be under 1,000 of your calories coming from carbohydrates a day. Now, that doesn't mean you can eat 1,000 carbs. There's 4 calories per gram of carbohydrate. I've done videos on this before. So, what does that mean? 250 grams of carbs a day at most if you're eating 2,000 calories a day. Really, you probably want to go just a little bit under that. Cut it down to 200 carbs a day. Bump up your protein. It sounds weird, but bump up your fat in place of those carbs. The reason why, when you eat carbs, it's very easy for your body to break them down and store them. Fats, surprisingly, don't get stored quite as easily. They have to go through a different process and then the same process. But long story short, everything is good in moderation. Cut your carbs back a little bit, bump up the other stuff. You'll lose some fat. You can still have your bread, but just be careful of how many carbs you're getting in a day.